الحمد لله الذي لا تراه العيون ولا يصفه الواصفون ولا تخالطه الظنون ولا يخشى الدوائر، يعلم عدد قطر الأمطار وعدد ورق الأشجار وعدد ما أظلم عليه الليل وما أشرق عليه النهار، ولا تواري منه سماء سماء ولا أرض أرضا ولا جبل ما في وعره ولا بحر ما في قعره. اللهم أنت أحق من عبد وأحق من ذكر وأنصر من ابتغي وأرأف من ملك وأجود من أعطى وأوسع من سئل. أنت الملك لا شريك لك وأنت الفرد لا ند لك، كل شيء هالك إلا وجهك، لن تطاع إلا بإذنك ولن تعصى إلا بعلمك، تطاع فتشكر وتعصى فتغفر. القلوب لك مفضية والسر عندك علانية، الحلال ما أحللت والحرام ما حرمت والدين ما شرعت والأمر ما قضيت، الخلق خلقك والعبد عبدك والأمر أمرك، وأنت الله الرؤوف الرحيم. وقد أحسن الشاعر إذ يقول: فليتك تحلو والحياة مريضة وليتك ترضى والأنام غضاب، وليت الذي بيني وبينك عامر وبيني وبين العالمين خراب، إذا صح منك الود فكل هين وكل الذي فوق التراب تراب. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله، يا خير من دفنت بالقاع عظمه فطاب من طيبهن القاع والأكم، نفس الفداء لقبر أنت ساكنه فيه العفاف وفيه الجود والكرم، أنت الشفيع الذي ترجى شفاعته على الصراط ما زلت القدم، وصاحباك فلا أنساهما أبدا، مني السلام عليكما ما جرى القلم. أما بعد، قال الله عز وجل في كتاب عزيز بعد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا، كلا نمد هؤلاء وهؤلاء من عطاء ربك وما كان عطاء ربك محظورا، انظر كيف فضلنا بعضهم على بعض وللآخرة أكبر درجات وأكبر تفضيلا. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: ثلاث منجيات وثلاث مهلكات، أما المنجيات فتقوى الله في السر والعلانية، وقول الحق في السخط والرضاء، والقصد في الغنى والفقر، وأما المهلكات فهوى متبع وشح مطاع وإعجاب المرء بنفسه وهي أشدهن، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Brothers and sisters, it took Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and Harun alayhi salatu wasalam 2 years. They sat outside the palace of Fir'aun for 2 years every single day. They went in the morning and they sat there all day till the evening just to meet Fir'aun, to give him da'wah. They did it every single day for 2 consecutive years. And Musa alayhi salam is Kalimullah. He can speak to Allah whenever he wants, but to speak to Fir'aun it took 2 years. And Harun alayhi salam is a prophet of Allah. When Musa alayhi salam makes dua, Allah opens up the pathways for him. Water comes out of the stones. Until a comedian walked into the palace of Fir'aun and said to him, should I tell you the greatest joke of the day? He said, what's the greatest joke of the day? The greatest joke of the day is there's 2 people outside your door that they're saying that there's another Allah other than you. There's ilah min ghayr. There's an ilah other than you. He said, really? Call them inside. That's how they came inside. And they had the first conversation with Fir'aun. As these conversations continued, Fir'aun's wife Asi alayhi salam accepted Islam. And we know how beloved the home is to the woman. She buys things for it, she decorates. This Asi alayhi salam is now, after accepting the call of Musa alayhi salam, she's being dragged out of her house in front of the entire public, embarrassed. And as she's being dragged, she gets taken to the top of a mountain, and a plank of wood is brought and placed beneath her. Right underneath her, a plank of wood is brought. The whole community is seeing this. Like the whole world is seeing what's happening in Gaza. Not that people can't see it, the whole world can see it. The entire community is seeing what's happening to this lady. Fir'aun then brings a plank of wood, puts it beneath her body, and then Fir'aun pegs her limbs down to this plank of wood. That's why in Surah Fajr Allah says, وَفِرْعَوْنَ ذِي الْأَوْتَادِ. Fir'aun, the possessor of watad. Watad means pegs. You peg the tent down with it. Of course it has other meanings as well, but Alama Razi takes this meaning. Because he was the first one to ever peg someone down before killing them. He started this punishment. He pegs her down to this plank of wood. How painful is that? How painful is it for a mother or father picking up the body parts of their children or their loved ones? But subhanAllah, this pain of Asiyah alayhi salam, because of two reasons, was no longer painful. The fact that Fir'aun is looking at her and saying, "Undur ila hadhihi al-majnuna nu'adhibha wa hiya tadhak." Look at this crazy woman. We are punishing her, putting her through pain and suffering. But while we're doing that, she's still smiling. The world doesn't understand why a believer, Muslims, you can put them through suffering, but they still will say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. They will still say, Raditu billahi rabba. There's a reason, there's two reasons for that. After being pegged down to this piece of plank of wood, as she's being thrown off this mountain, before this happens, she says to Allah, Rabbi ibni li indaka baytan fil jannah. Oh Allah, I have no other recourse. I don't care about this dunya. I don't care about nothing in this world. I beg you, O Allah, build for me near you a house in Jannah. She asked, Al-jar qabla al-dar, wal-rafiq qabla al-tariq. I want to be next to you, O Allah, in Jannah. You know when you go to Mecca and they give you, in the lobby they give you cards to your hotel room. And you go to your hotel room, everyone's in the same hotel. The first thing you do is you move your blinds. Sheikh Omar is going for a month right now. First thing you do is you move your blinds to see the view. Some people get the city view, some people get the back of a hotel, and some people get the whole Kaaba view. Right? And when you go there for the first time, we took my mother last year, she moves the curtains and she's surprised there's a full Kaaba view. That face and that reaction is priceless. You're seeing the entire Kaaba. You don't have to say nothing, it's a smile on your face. The reason why she was smiling is because Allah showed her her view from her window in Jannah. Where are you going to be? And that was going to be next to Allah. Because of that, not because of Jannah, not because of the house in Jannah, but because the view she was receiving from the place she was in Jannah, which was Rafiq al-A'la, which was next to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the first thing, brothers and sisters, that those brothers who are suffering in Gaza, our brothers and sisters over there, and the ones who are here today in the month of Ramadan, none of us had the opportunity to accompany the Prophet ﷺ from Mecca to Medina. When he needed us the most, we weren't there. None of us brought water to him when he was thirsty in Mecca. None of us sheltered him when he moved to Medina, when there was nothing there. None of us gave him comfort when he lost Hamza. None of us gave him comfort when he came from Badr back to Medina and he's lost his daughter Ruqayya. And he was crying because he lost his daughter, even though this is the greatest day of his life, the conquest of Badr. None of us were there when he was crying when he lost Ibrahim and no one was there. None of us was there to comfort him. None of us were there when he went to see his mother's grave and he cried so much that Umar bin Khattab had to comfort him and hold him and say, Ya Rasulullah, it's enough. We couldn't cook for him, we couldn't feed him, even though we love doing that. Allah, through His divine hikmah, gave us birth at this time and age. But we have never heard His voice. Sometimes we hear some qaris, we feel so good. But imagine hearing the voice of the Prophet. We've never seen his face. We never hugged him. That's why Al-Qa'qa al-Awsi, rahmatullah alayh, he was walking with his friend, and he told his friend, "Dullani bi shay'in yuraghibni ila al-Jannah." Tell me something that will motivate me to go to Jannah. And all of us sitting here today, this is Ramadan. Ramadan it comes here. We are in the month of Ramadan for only one purpose. By the end of Ramadan, we are so close to Allah that dying becomes easy for us. We're so close to Allah that we enjoy being with Him. We enjoy being in the masjid. We enjoy listening to his words. That now dying becomes easy. One time Abdullah bin Abbas was asked the three questions. What is the best day? What is the best month? What is the best deed? He said the best day is the day of Jum'ah. The best month is the month of Ramadan. And the best deed is Salah. Ali ibn Abi Talib, Hakim. He had different level of wisdom. He said, Wallahi, if this question was asked to all the scholars of the world, they would have answered the exact same way. But my answer is different. He said the best month is the month in which you do tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one in that month in which you say, oh Allah, I'm done. No more sin. No more missing salah. No more disobeying my parents. No more, I'm done with it. That month is the best month of your life. Sometimes it takes a death in your family for that month to be that month. The best month of my life is October 5th because my brother passed away that month. That's the month where you say, khalas, my life is different. Sometimes it takes something different. So the best month is the month in which you turn back to Allah, tawbatan nasuha. He said the best deed is not, of course, salah is the best deed, but he said the best deed is the deed that Allah accepts. Whether it's a smile, whether it's charity, whether it's feeding somebody, whether it's salah, whatever deed it is, we always earn the acceptance and pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our deed. And he said the best day is the day you leave this world. There's no better day than that. Abu Dhar, he used to bury his children one after the other. They used to pass away. He had no children. He buried so many of them. Someone asked him, how do you cope with this? What's your coping mechanism with suffering? And he said, Alhamdulillah alladhi akhudhum fi dar al-fana wa yaddakhiruhum fi dar al-baqa. All praises to Allah who takes them from me in this temporary world and preserves them from me in the everlasting world. So the two things, brothers and sisters, to remember, the Al-Qa'qa al-Awsi is asking his friend this question, tell me something that will motivate me to get to Jannah. He said 3 words. He said, Fiha Rasulullah. In Jannah is a Prophet of Allah, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You're never going to see him unless you get there. We're never going to be with him unless we get there. The Sahaba, the only thing on their mind was, how can we get back to the Prophet in Jannah? The Prophet see a man sitting in the masjid. He said, Mali alaka mahzuna. Why are you so depressed? What's wrong with you? Be happy. He said, Rasulullah, كنا نغدو ونروح نجلس معك وغدا ترفع مع النبي فلا نصل إليك. He said, in this world, every morning and every evening we come to the masjid, we get to sit with you, we get to hear you, we get to spend time with you, but tomorrow in Jannah, Allah will uplift you with the prophets and we won't be able to see you. This what bothers me. And the Prophet didn't have nothing to say. Then Jibreel came down with the verses, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ. Those who obey Allah and His Messenger will be with Him in Jannah. Rabi' bin Ka'b al-Aslami used to serve the Prophet day and night, day and night, serve him. One day the Prophet comes out of his house at the Hajj time, he's sitting there. Years went by. Brothers and sisters, the difference between lip service dua and earning dua. Our parents, you guys have kids over here, a lot of youngsters. Don't get the lip service dua of your parents. Earn their duas. Do something for them that makes them so happy that the dua comes out of their heart. Do something for somebody else that makes them so happy that you earn their dua. The Sahaba earned the Prophet's dua. Literally, they earned his dua. I asked my mother this question once. I said, what is the ingredient to raising good children in this country? What's the key ingredient? We have masjids now, we have institutions now, we have money now, we have everything. And she literally looked at me, she's a physician, she looked at me and she said, earn other people's du'as. Earn their du'as. Do something for people, that they make du'a from their heart for you. Wallahi, we run a boarding school in Michigan, many of the students study there, and I did not want to start the school many years ago. Shaykh Tariq Jamil said to me, he said, listen, AbdulRahman, you will earn the dua of the parents. They will make dua for you. And there's nothing more valuable than the dua of others that you earn without you asking them. That's why the policy of this world is Allah shows mercy to the merciful. Allah helps those who help others. Allah forgives those who forgive others. Allah hides the sins of those who hide the sins of others. ألا تحبون أن يغفر الله لكم والله في عون عبد ما كان عبد في عون أخيه من ستر مسلما ستره الله يوم القيامة. This is the policy of Allah. The way you treat others, Allah treats you. من لا يرحم لا يرحم. This is the policy of Allah. How are you treating others? That's how Allah will treat you. Nonetheless, Rabi' ibn Ka'b al-Aslami was sitting outside at the Hajj time waiting for the Prophet. The Prophet comes out, sees him, and he says, Rabi'a, salli, go ahead, ask me what you want. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, unzur ila himmati Rabi' ibn Ka'b. Look at this man's aspirations. This man was from the Ashab al-Sufa. He did not have clothes on his body, did not have food to eat, had no family. He could have asked for anything. But he says, Ya Rasulullah, as'aluka murafaqataka fil Jannah. O Prophet of Allah, I just want to be with you in Jannah. I don't want nothing else. Who cares about dunya? Who cares who my neighbor is in this world? Who cares what subdivision I live in this world? At the end of the day, we're all going to be in a grave. But the real thing that matters is if I'm going to be with you, O Prophet of Allah, in Jannah. The Prophet said, A'inni alayhi bi kathrati sujood. Just keep doing sajda or rabi'ah, because every sajda will bring you closer to Allah. Wasjud waqtarib. One step takes you closer to your house, every sajda brings you closer to Allah. So the first thing that these brothers and sisters, when you see them in Gaza, and today all of us sitting here, these people don't understand. Khalid bin Waheed comes in the battle of Yarmouk. He tells the Romans, he says, you guys can't beat us. Are you crazy? Because the difference between us and you is that everyone has come here to become shaheed. And you've come here to survive. And in our culture, in our deen, the one who becomes shaheed, he is honored when they go home. And in your culture, a statue is put up for the person who survives. When my youngest brother passed away, rahmatullahi alayhi, a Palestinian was with my father, and he met him. And he says, Sheikh, la adri am nuhannik am nu'azik. He said to my dad, doctor, I don't know if I should congratulate you or should I give you condolences? Because your son is a shaheed. This is the conversations happening over there. Khalid bin Walid said, what are you talking about? You can't beat us. Yes, it took Musa and Harun 2 years to get to Firaun. It takes time, but the main component is, number one, those brothers and sisters who leave this world like this, they will be with the Prophet in Jannah. Are we going to be with the Prophet in Jannah? They're not asking, where's Allah? They're asking, where's the Muslim Ummah? Where are we? Where's our relationship with Allah? And the second thing, brothers and sisters, that is a requirement of the month of Ramadan, that's going to help us go through the sufferings of this world. Number one, keep your eye on the prize. We want to be with the Prophet in Jannah. That's all we want. And number two, what helps the Muslim Ummah, something that we have that nobody else has. The Prophet used to make this dua every single gathering. Long dua, Allah maqsuna min khashyatika ma tahulu bihi baynana wa bayna ma'asik, wa min ta'atika ma tuballighuni bihi jannatak, wa min al-yaqeen ma tuhawwinu bihi alayna masa'ib ad-dunya. Oh Allah, I ask you for such belief and conviction in your promises that all the suffering of this world becomes easy. And I conclude with this. Umar bin Abdul comes to his house. He finds out that his brother Suhail is sick and he passes away. Umar bin Abdul cries so much, buries his brother, comes back home, and a day later his favorite student, Muzahim. When you're a teacher, you have favorite students. Right now we have 13 who graduated. It was very emotional for us. Muzahim, rahmatullah alayhi, was his favorite student. He gets sick, he passes away on the third day. His brother passed away one day, 2 days later Muzahim passes away. As he's burying his student and he comes out of the cemetery, someone tells him, your son Abdul Malik is sick. One suffering was not done, then the other suffering started. He goes to his bedside. His son was a young boy. And Umar ibn Aziz had a lot of hope that this child will grow up and become the next Khalifa. He says to his son, كيف تجد? How are you feeling? أجد في الموت يا أبتاه. He says, Dad, I'm feeling like I'm about to die. I don't think I'm going to survive. Umar bin Abdul Aziz, sitting next to him, he says to him, لأن تكون في ميزاني أحب إلي من أن أكون في ميزانك. How can you say that to a son who's about to die? As a father, oh my son, you dying before me And me getting the reward of your patience is more beloved to me than me dying before you and you getting the reward. لأن تكون في ميزاني أحب إلي من أن أكون في ميزاني. They believed in the reward that Allah has for them. They believed in it. And since they believed in it, Allah gave it to them. This month of Ramadan is another opportunity to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can be with the Prophet in Jannah. And we believe in these rewards. The brothers and sisters who are leaving this world as shuhada, the moment they leave this world, brothers and sisters, wallahi al-azim, when the Prophet saw Jabir anhu sitting down depressed, imagine the Prophet in Muta, sitting in the masjid, seeing his cousin Ja'far, seeing Zayd, seeing Abdullah bin Rawaha as shuhada, but he can't do nothing in Medina. My brother Shaykh Abdullah said something very interesting. He said the whole world thinks Umar bin Khattab is the one who conquered Palestine. Actually, it was not him. It was the shuhada of Muta that laid the foundation for Umar bin Khattab coming later on. It happened many years later, but they laid the foundation. It's the sacrifice, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sujood of the Muslim ummah that then brings upon the nusrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to act upon whatever is said, bring it into our lives, make us get closer and closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be with the Prophet in Jannah, have firm conviction in His promises in this Ramadan via Ramadan, in which we come so close to Allah that we never go further. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده اصطفى أما بعد إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر من نصر محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منه معهم اللهم اخذل من خذل محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منه ولا معهم اللهم اشف مرضانا واعف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا انك حقا على كل شيء قدير اللهم حبب الى الايمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره الى الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين امين امين رب العالمين ان الله يامر بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم وذكر الله تعالى اعلى واولى واتم وهم اكبر اقيموا الصلاه. Please make the line.